All my things inside. I have more plans in my head. I make 2 tents. One tent is big, the second tent is small. The smaller tent is inside the bigger tent. The bigger tent protects the gunpowder and the food from the rain. I live in the smaller tent. Chapter 10. Calendar. When the tents are finished, I start to make a cave at the bottom of the hill. I want to use the cave for food. I bring stones and earth from the cave to the fence. I make a terrace on the inside of the fence. I still work on the cave when a storm comes. One day, I see lightning during the storm. I think that the lightning can hit my boxes with gunpowder. The explosion can destroy everything. The explosion can also kill me. I am scared. I need to make a change. After the storm, I open the boxes with the gunpowder. I put the gunpowder in smaller boxes and bags. I hide the boxes and bags in the rocks. I have a lot of gunpowder, so this takes 3 days. I also hunt every day. It is a break from the hard work, and I also need some meat. When I hunt, I also start to know the island more. I discover some goats. I hunt them. Now I have enough meat. I am sad sometimes. I think about my wife. I miss her very much. I think about my friends in Brazil. I think about my parents. I know that traveling by sea can change your life completely. Traveling can be great, but traveling can be horrible too. I know that my friends from the ship are dead. I know that I am the only person alive. I am lucky. I am also lucky because I have all the things like food, guns, and clothes. I can't survive without these things. I decide to make a big cross. I put the cross on the beach. I write on the cross the date of my first day on the island. I want to keep information about time. The cross is my calendar. I make a small cut in the cross every day. Every Sunday, the cut is longer. This cut shows the end of the week. The last day of every month is also a long cut. One day, I think about my situation. I have negative thoughts. This is not good. I want to change my negative thoughts. I decide to write all good and bad things. First, I write what is bad. I am alone on this island. I have nobody for a conversation. I have only a small chance that I can see England again. But I am alive. I am safe. I have my freedom. I have enough food. This is all positive. I don't have good clothes, but I don't need a lot of clothes on this island. I have my dog. He understands some words. He understands when I say, sit down, come here, bring it. Don't jump. Don't do it. I see that my situation is not perfect, but I also have some good things in my life. I need to concentrate on positive things only. I continue to make my place better and better. I make the cave bigger. I have space for many things in the cave. I am happy because my life is now well organized. Chapter 11. Book. I need to make some furniture. I need a chair and a table. I use the wood for my rafts and the ship. It takes 5 days to make them. Then I make more furniture for the cave. I put my clothes and guns in the cave too. I'm very happy when my work is finished. The cave is comfortable now. Everything is well organized. I can easily find what I need. I decide to write a book about my life on the island. I describe my days in the book. I start with my first day on the island. I write everything I remember. I also write what I think. It is good when I write my thoughts on paper. When I start, I write 1 page every day. But when I get to the present, I write only 1 page every week. I write only important things. After some time on the island, my life is well organized, but my life is never boring. I always have some work. Every morning I walk around the island. Then I work. I have lunch at noon. Then I sleep, but not very long. Then I continue with my work. I relax, or I write my book in the evening. I make my cave bigger and bigger. I want to have a big cave. The cave is my kitchen, living room, and sometimes a bedroom. When the cave is finished, a lot of earth falls from one side. I am not in the cave when it happens. If a lot of earth falls on me, I can die. I clean the cave. Then I decide to put long boards on the sides and also on the top. I don't want to have this accident again. This work takes 1 week. In December, I continue with my work in my small camp. The weather isn't very good. It rains all day, but it is still warm, so I work inside. It is never cold on the island. It is good for me. At the end of December, I kill a goat. I also hurt another goat. Her leg is broken. The goat can't walk. I take the goat home. I help the goat. After 2 weeks, the goat is not scared. The goat eats from my hand. In January, I travel through the island. I find more goats in the center of the island. The animals are very shy. It is difficult to get close to them. I want to domesticate some goats. I only need a good opportunity for it. I have a plan. The next day, I return with my dog. I think that my dog can help me hunt. I tell my dog, "Sit down. Wait. Don't move." Chapter 12. Corn. When the goats are between me and my dog, I hide behind a tree. Then I shout at my dog, "Come here!" My dog runs to me and the goats do too. I wait in my position behind the tree. When one goat runs close to me, I jump and catch her leg. I hold her right leg, but then the goat kicks me with her left leg. She kicks me in my nose. It is a horrible pain. I can't hold the goat, and the goat runs away. We are not successful. This is not the best method to catch a goat. We have to find a better method. I tell my dog, "Let's go home. I need to relax." I work on my fence from January to March. It takes me a long time because I want to make the fence very strong. During this time, I find big birds on the island. Their homes aren't in the trees. They live in holes between rocks. It is easy to catch them. Their meat is great. I can also cook and eat their eggs. When I work on my fence, I find a small bag. I remember corn in the bag, but now I see only some leaves in the bag. I take the bag outside my camp. I empty the bag because I need the bag for gunpowder. This happens before the rains. A month later, I find some green leaves in that place. It is young corn. I am so happy. The corn grows near my home. It is fantastic. I can bake bread in the future. Something happens in March. I am inside my cave when pieces of earth fall from the top of the cave. I'm scared. My work on the cave can be lost. I run outside the cave. I see that the ground starts to shake. It is an earthquake. I am shocked and scared. Some big stones fall from the hill, but I am lucky. They don't hit my tent. The earthquake is finished soon, but I don't want to go inside the cave. I am scared. I sit on the ground before my tent. I think maybe it is dangerous to sleep in the cave. It is dangerous if another earthquake comes. But I don't want to sleep in the tent, so I decide to make a house. I start to build the house in April. It takes 3 months to build the house, but I am happy with my new home. I am ill in the last week of July, and I have a temperature. I can't get out of bed. I am very weak, and I can do nothing in this state. I have crazy dreams. The dreams are not very logical, but for me, they are real when I have them. Chapter 13. Dream 1 of my dreams is really crazy. I am in a pub. The pub is on my island. I want to drink some rum, but the waitress is very lazy. She sits at the bar and does nothing. I don't like lazy people. I am angry, but I wait. Then my wife comes to the pub. She gives me a paper with some text. It is a message from her father. He writes that I have to go home. He writes that I have to work on the plantations, but I don't want to go home. I go to the kitchen in the pub. My mother is in the kitchen. She prepares some steaks and also cooks soup. I taste the soup. It tastes fantastic. Then 2 Englishmen come to the pub. They want to sell gunpowder. One man looks like a gentleman, but the second man is horrible. I tell the horrible man that I am sorry, but I don't need your gunpowder. I have a lot of gunpowder in my camp. The horrible man says, "You have to buy our gunpowder. We travel from London. We want to do business." I say thank you, but I don't want your gunpowder. The horrible man is really angry. Our conversation is not good. He says some horrible things about me, and I say some horrible things about him. The conversation reaches a point where he wants to kill me. He takes his gun. I start to run away, and he shoots at me. Then I wake up. 1 week later, I feel a bit better, but I still need to relax. I need to sleep a lot. In August, I am okay again, but I still feel a little weak. I need to do some physical activity. The next 10 days, I walk around the island. I feel better after these trips. When I feel strong again, I decide to explore the whole island. I find a new, interesting part of the island. It is a valley with a lake. The valley is in the central part of the island. I find melons here. The melons look like big balls and are very sweet. I also find apples, oranges, and lemons in this valley. I want to take some fruit home, but I need a big bag. I don't have a big bag with me, so I collect some fruit and put it in one place. I return to my cave and bring a big bag for the fruit. I like the fruit valley very much. The nature is beautiful here. I think maybe I can move here, but the beach is far from this place. I have to be close to the beach. I need to see a ship that can save me. Chapter 14. House. I don't move to the fruit valley, but I decide to build a house here and visit the valley very often. Step by step, I build a house here. The house is small. I make a double fence around the house. The house is protected like a castle. Again, I use a ladder when I want to go inside, and inside I have stairs in one corner of the fence. I use the stairs when I go outside, and the ladder when I go inside. This activity takes the whole of August and the beginning of September, but I enjoy it a lot. The fruit valley gives me so much energy. I feel so healthy and strong here. Sometimes, when I am in the valley at night, I watch the moon and the stars. I think about my wife and my family in England. I know that they see the same moon and the same stars, but we can't be together. I think about my family very often. I wish the best for them. I also think about all the people who see the moon. I think about the places where they live. I feel connected with them. Sometimes I feel connected with the whole universe. I also think about God. I have questions for God. I ask him, why am I on this island? Why am I still alive when my friends are all dead? I don't have answers to these questions, but I believe in God. I believe that he knows what he is doing. It is the time when the rainy season starts. The rainy season continues until the middle of October. This is my first year on the island. When the rains end, I return to my valley house. I see that the fence is all green. New leaves are growing everywhere. This isn't only beautiful, it is also useful because it is really hard to see the house. The leaves create a shadow. It is very nice to stay here. I want to make a fence from the same wood around my first house too. When the rainy season is finished, I put my corn in the ground. I have a bad feeling that something bad might happen. I only use half of the corn. This is a good idea, because no corn grows. I put the second half of the corn in the ground before the next rainy season. This time, the corn grows up. Now, I have a small farm on the island. I see that the seasons on the island are different from England. The seasons are not spring, summer, autumn, and winter. We have 2 rainy and 2 dry seasons. With this information, I can now plan when to put corn in the ground. Chapter 15. Basket. I make longer and longer trips around the island. I need a basket for these trips. With a basket, I can carry more food during my trips, and I can also carry more fruit from the fruit valley. I cut branches from the trees, which I use for my fences. I use the branches for the basket. When I finish the basket, I decide to make a long trip around the island. I go through the fruit valley. After the valley, I find some fields. A lot of grass is on the fields. The fields are very flat. There are a lot of flowers on the fields. The flowers smell so good. Many insects fly around these flowers. I see some big butterflies. Their wings are 10 centimeters wide. I also see small trees around these fields. I find nuts on these trees. These nuts are different from nuts in England. They have a different shape and are also sweeter than nuts in England. I discover some new animals on this side of the island. Wildcats live here. I also see many parrots and other interesting birds. I catch one parrot and take it with me. Its body has many colors: red, green, orange, blue, pink, and yellow. This part of the island is very nice. More food is here, but I don't want to move here. My dog catches a young goat on the way back. I save the goat and take it with me. I want to keep goats now. I have another chance. I leave the goat in my valley house and want to prepare some space for the goat in my first home. I am so tired from the trip. I relax the whole day. I make a cage for the parrot and bring home the goat. The goat starts to be calm. I make a map of the whole island and put these new places on the map. Time goes very fast. Soon it is September again. This is my second year on the island. I am less sad now. I accept my situation. I have many good things in my life. My days are similar. I hunt in the morning, cook at noon, relax in the afternoon when the sun is very strong, and work in the evening. This is my typical day. I also teach my parrot how to say his name. His name is Pole. I have a problem with my corn in November and December. The wild goats want to eat the little plants. I don't want to lose my corn, so I quickly make a fence around the field with the corn. I make a gate in the fence and put my dog inside the fence. He protects my corn at night. Soon the plants are tall, but another danger comes. Birds start to eat the seeds. I shoot at the birds and they fly away. I must watch my field every day. Chapter 16. Bread. I have my first corn at the end of December. It isn't a lot of corn. I don't want to eat the corn. I decide to keep all the seeds. My goal is to put the seeds in the ground and have more corn later. I need some pots for the seeds. I look for clay on the island. I find some clay and try to make a pot. I have no success at the beginning, but I try again and again. It is long work, but after 2 months of experimenting, I make 2 pots. I put the pots in baskets and put dry grass between the baskets and the pots. The dry grass and the baskets protect the pots very well. I continue to make small pots. Their quality is better and better. I also make long but not very high pots. I put seawater in them. When the water is gone, I have salt. One day, I find a broken piece of a pot in the fire. The fire makes the piece very hard. It is like a stone. The piece is very red, too. I have an idea. I take one pot and make a fire around it. The pot becomes very hard after 2 hours. I am happy with the result. I also need a tool with which I can make flour. I take a big piece of hard wood, make a hole in it, and put the seeds in the hole. Then I take another piece of hard wood, I break the seeds in the hole with this second piece of wood. The flour stays on the bottom of the hole. Now I want to bake bread. I have an idea. I mix the flour with water, then I take 2 stones. I put the stones near the fire, and when the stones are very hot, I put the bread between them. Now I have my first bread on the island. The bread is not perfect, but I like it a lot. It is my first bread after a long time. During my 3rd year on the island, I think about traveling around the island by sea. I believe it is possible to make a canoe. I want to make a canoe from a big tree. I find one big tree, cut it down, and start to make a hole in it. But after some days, I start to think about something else. How to get the canoe from the forest to the beach. I realize that I am quite far from the beach. I see a small hill between the forest and the beach, and it is not possible to move the canoe over the hill. The canoe is very heavy for that. I am really angry. I have to leave the canoe in the forest. Many days of work are lost. I don't believe that I can make such a mistake. I have to plan my work better next time. Chapter 17. Canoe. After 3 years on the island, my clothes are already very old. I start to use the skins of animals. I make cap and other clothes from the skins. I also need an umbrella, so I try to make one from the skins too. It is difficult at the beginning and takes some time, but I am successful in the end. After 3 years, I am quite happy. I have everything I need for my life. My life on the island continues for the next 5 years. During this time, I decide to make another canoe. The canoe is smaller, and it isn't difficult to move it to the beach. The canoe is finished in June. I want to travel around the island in the canoe. I put food, water, and guns in the canoe. I'm ready for the trip. The beginning of my trip isn't easy for me. I am in danger when my journey starts. I have to go around some rocks in the sea. When I want to go back to the land, I feel a strong current under the canoe. The current is taking me away from the island. The situation is horrible. I am scared. I can't survive in the open sea. I don't have enough food and water for a long journey. I fight very hard against the current for 2 hours, and then I am able to get close to my island. I can continue my trip around the island. Now I know that I am stronger than the currents around the island. I feel good. I feel strong. Soon, I find a small river. I go up the river, but I get nowhere because soon the river is very narrow and stones block the way. I can't continue. I leave the canoe where it is and want to explore this part of the island. I am not far from the part of the island I know. Soon I find the way to my house in the valley. I am very tired from the trip, and soon I sleep. Then I hear a voice. I wake up. The voice is saying my name. Robinson. Where are you? Robinson. Where are you? At first I am scared, but then I see my parrot, Paul. He sits on top of the fence. He knows these words from me, and is saying them with the same intonation as I do. I am surprised when I see him here. I think, why isn't he at home? But I am happy to see him. I don't go back to the canoe. I return home with the parrot. I don't make such a trip for a year. I stay in my house most of the time and make more tools and pots. I can also make very nice baskets now. Chapter 18. Foot. It is 11 years after my first day on the island. One day, I see that I don't have much gunpowder. It starts to worry me because I need gunpowder if I want to hunt animals. My first goat is very old. I want meat, but I don't have the heart to kill her. One day, she dies a natural death. With less and less gunpowder, I have to find another way to get meat. I decide to make a trap. I am not successful at the beginning, but then I catch 3 young goats, 1 male and 2 females. I take them home with me. I keep the goats inside a small area. I make a fence around the area, but it is too small for 3 goats, so I build a fence around a bigger area. It takes me 3 months to build this fence, but the area is very nice. There is a lot of grass and water for them. After some time, the young goats are very calm. Soon they eat from my hand. In 2 years, I have 12 goats inside my fence, and in 3 years, I have more than 20 goats. I have a lot of milk and meat thanks to this. I experiment a little, and after some time, I am able to make cheese and butter. My table is full now, and I have a lot of animals around me. My old dog, goats, and my parrot. The only thing I still miss is someone for conversation. One day, I go to the part of the sea where the strong current is. On the way there, I think about how strange I look. I have a big hat, a short jacket, and short trousers, all made from animal skin. I don't have socks or shoes, but I put some goat skins around my feet. I have 2 belts, one for the gun and knife, and one for the gunpowder. I also carry a basket on my back and an umbrella above my head. My beard is very long. I see that after 11 years on the island, I don't look like an Englishman. I am a different person. One day, I am walking on the beach going to check my canoe when I see something surprising. A mark of a human foot on the sand. I look around, but I see nobody. I am scared. I run back to my house. I am so scared that it is difficult to sleep at night. Then I think maybe it is all only my imagination, or maybe it is the mark of my own foot, and it is stupid to be scared. After this thought, I feel better. I leave my house and go look at the mark again. Chapter 19. Cannibals. When I come to the mark of the foot, I see that it is much bigger than my foot. It's impossible that it's my foot. I'm scared again and start to panic. I want to destroy my cornfields and my valley house. I need to hide my activities on the island. I am so afraid that I can't sleep the whole night. Finally, I sleep a little. In the morning, my head is clear. Now it isn't so strange that people live on the islands around. I think maybe this is their first visit here. Maybe this island is not interesting for them. Maybe it's also their last visit here. I feel better after these thoughts, but I want to do something for my protection if the people come again. During the following month, I make another fence around my house. I make holes in the fence through which I can easily shoot from my guns if I'm attacked. Now I have a house that is very well protected. Nobody can come near me easily. I also worry about my goats. I divide them into 2 groups and build a smaller fence in another part of the island. I put one group of the goats there. It takes me a lot of time, but my animals are safe. After 16 years on the island, something very sad happens. My dog dies. I cry for 3 days. It's my worst day on the island. Fortunately, I have my goats. I go to them and tell them how sad I am. They don't understand my words, but I feel that they understand me. They feel my emotions and are unusually calm and quiet. It's now 2 years after the foot in the sand on the beach. One day, when I'm walking on the beach, I think that I see a canoe far in the sea. I'm not sure, so I continue to walk. Then I see something that shocks me. The beach is full of parts of human bodies. Heads, hands, feet, fingers, and teeth are everywhere. There is a black place after a fire. I am angry, but also scared. I can't look at this horrible scene for a long time. I have a horrible feeling in my stomach. I go back home and think about what to do now. I can't go out to sea with my canoe. I have no chance against a group of cannibals in the open sea. I also can't use guns, because the sound of a gun is very loud. But I always have guns with me for protection. I think that maybe in the future, I can kill some cannibals and save their prisoners. I look for a place near the beach where I can hide and prepare for an attack. Then I change my opinion. I think that it's not good to fight the cannibals. I don't know these people. They don't attack me, so maybe it isn't good to attack them. Finally, I stop the preparations for the attack. I decide to attack them only if they attack me first. Chapter 20. Cave. I am hiding my activity on the island. I am very careful and try not to be loud. I am worried when I make a fire, but I need fire because I need to cook. So, when I make a fire, I try to make only a little smoke. Smoke can go very high. People can see smoke from a great distance. One day, I discover a small cave in the forest. The cave is near the beach. I go inside. When my eyes adjust to the dark, I see 2 eyes looking at me. I jump outside, scared to death. I wait, but nothing happens. I go slowly to the beginning of the cave and listen. I hear something. I hear some animal. I think that the animal is injured. I take my gun, and I go in the cave, slowly when my eyes can see again. I see an old goat. The goat is dying in the cave. I return to the cave the next day. I see that the goat is dead. I look around the place. I see that the place is very safe. It's a good place near the beach where I can hide. So I bring some guns and some gunpowder there. It's 23 years after my first moment on this island. I live comfortably. Now I have many animals around me. Pole is repeating my name and some other words very nicely. I have 2 other parrots. I teach them how to say my name. I have more than 30 goats. One day I'm walking to my fields in the morning when I see fire on the beach. I quickly return to my house. I prepare all my guns. I take my telescope. I go close to the beach. I hide behind a tree. I watch what is happening on the beach. I see 9 naked people. They have 2 canoes, and they are leaving when they leave. I go to the beach. The beach is full of blood and bones again. I'm angry again. I decide to kill them. If I see them again, but they don't return for a long time. One day in the evening, after a big storm, something strange happens. I hear the sound of a gun at sea. I go to the beach. I see a light. The light is coming from the sea, but it's very far. Then I hear the gun again. I know that some ship is near my island. The ship is in danger. The ship is asking for help, but it's very dark. I don't see the whole ship. I take a lot of dry wood and make a big fire on the beach. The men on the ship probably see the fire because they shoot again. I think I can speak to somebody tonight. This is great. I keep the fire until midnight, but nobody comes to my beach. It's very strange. I don't understand it. I think, where are the men from the ship? Chapter 21. Visitors. The next day in the morning, I see the ship. The ship stops very far from the beach. The ship looks empty. I don't understand it. I expect the people from the ship. I really want to speak with somebody. I miss communication with real people very much. I take my canoe and go to the ship. I want to see if somebody is alive. The ship looks Spanish. The ship is completely destroyed. When I'm close to the ship, I see a dog. He is very happy when he sees me. I give him bread and water. He is hungry and very thirsty. I find nobody on the ship. Where are the men from the ship? I think it's very strange. I don't have an answer to this question. It's a mystery. There are many boxes with different things on the ship. Some boxes are small. Some boxes are big. I find bottles with alcohol in some big boxes, but these boxes are too heavy. I can't take them on the canoe. I find guns and gunpowder. I take them to the canoe. I also find some other useful things. I return to the island in the evening with some small boxes on my canoe. I have some new shirts and also gold, silver, and a lot of gunpowder. The gunpowder is important for me on the island. Gunpowder is more useful than money or gold. There is something else that I need very much. I need shoes. I find 2 pairs of shoes on board the ship. I take them with me. I put all my new things in the cave. I make 5 trips to the ship. I take everything useful for me. Then I hide the canoe. Everything goes back to normal. Time goes quickly. I often think about the men from the ship and the cannibals on the beach. One night in March, I have an interesting dream. In the dream, I see 2 canoes with cannibals who come to the beach. One of their prisoners runs away. He comes to my house. I save him, then he becomes my friend. He helps me go through the dangerous waters around the island. I wake up, but the dream stays.